whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Ho, ho, ho. This is your legal Santa, Gavin Richard, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous New Year. The law offices of Gavin M. Richard, going a distance so that justice may be served. Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why a trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, or mainstream, the destruction of due process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. The place to be right here is with me. It is Random Topic Tuesdays only on channel GBoo2786 on Gavin Richard on Facebook and YouTube, my backup channel, and on Gavin Rich 2786 via Periscope via Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are blessed and doing safe this evening. We will discuss the following topics. Kim Potter trial, day 10. O.J. Simpson is off from parole. It makes the news. And last but not least, Lafayette City Court judge gets caught saying, you know what, blames a sedative for her choice of words. We'll be discussing this and more on tonight's edition of Random Topic Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you have not hit that notification bell on my channel, GBoo2786, make sure you do so when you subscribe to the channel so that you will get an update with the when we go live in this chat. We go live every Tuesday, every Thursday, and on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I need you to all check out my latest latest venture, which is in the seasoning business. I have not seen some review actually buy some, although there have been a few of our Nani's Creole blends, which is great for the holidays if you are cooking, or even not just the holidays, but for anything. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nani's goes great with every dish. You go to this, hit the shop button right at the top, and click on that and order you some, and I will send it personally through the mail, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we have our, as you know, I'm a composer and I have some new songs that'll be debuting real soon, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of songs that you can get, which are available on Spotify and Apple, include Video Soul, which is my latest single, Video Soul, and it's just taking a long time for Spotify to load. I hate when this happens. Shout out to the chat from Darius from Atlanta, my dude, to Lamico Cardenas. What's up, Lamico? And Derek Bailey, my man. What's up there, Danielle? I was hoping to catch everybody before you went to bed because I know I did a late show that Sunday, man. I was up late. Okay, so they had trouble loading me, which I take as a compliment. Spotify is having trouble. I guess I got too many people going to my page. So I got one monthly listener. Uh, so y'all got to follow if you're on Spotify. Hit that follow button. This is the Spotify page. And you can check out Video Soul, which was my latest release. You can get that there. You can also look at it on get it on Amazon and Apple. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I like to open with our theme song, which is "Gotta Get On Up," which was my first song. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us play that tune we all know and love so much. I'll be back in a few.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on the floor. Come on, baby, gotta get on the floor, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Gotta get on up. Oh, I'll be looking for my copyright strike later this morning or later this evening. What's up, family? How are you all doing today? It is good to see you all. Black Mama is in the building. I haven't seen her in a while. You know, I haven't seen too. I wonder what happened to that sister Rosalind. Black Mama, if you know, I know you know Rosalind. If anybody knows what happened to her, please let me know. My sister Black Mama is commuting in an hour and a half. And by the way, Black Mama, I did get your email. I will take a look at that as soon as possible. I've just been inundated, I guess is the white term to use. Needless to say, I have been so busy with work from I haven't had this in my 7 years of practicing law. I have not had as many people calling me, trying to get me to take their case. Now, I can't obviously go in detail with stuff, but and it's a blessing. I'll take it. Uh, People wanting to get stuff done, obviously, because by the new year, you know, child support or child custody cases come up. We have criminal cases that are being moved to trial. I mean, uh, there are people who actually have there are people who have actually have their court cases suspended, as a result of COVID. Remember last year, everything was being done, and to an extent, it's still done virtually. There are court appearances where you're doing them from home. Um, I had to make, which was fun because all I had to do was sit in my suit and tie in front of everybody. Of course, I could have my slippers on; they weren't going to feel my feet. But that was pretty cool to do. But anyway, yeah, it is. I'm really trying to get sought after in this thing we call life, as far as, and especially on YouTube here, trying to get more views, trying to get more viewers, trying to actually, and even my podcast and my music. Apparently, I haven't hit that struck gold just yet. Uh, it takes time. It's not something, that happens overnight. If it did, everybody would be doing it. But you just have to keep grinding until you reach the right spot. And I mean, look, some of the biggest, uh, the people who, and let me just say this too. Comedians, the entertainers, the musicians, it took years before they were developed. I mean, or noticed. The Jackson Five, for instance, actually had to audition twice for Motown. The first time they didn't get it. The second time, when Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers discovered the Jacksons and brought them to Motown, along with Gladys Knight, was when they did the audition. The I Got the Feeling, and Michael, of course, was dancing like a baby James Brown. And Barry Gordy, I'm sure, saw dollar signs when he looked at the footage. He saw money that could be made, that bubblegum pop soul. Shout out to Mr. Gordy, who he just retired this year, believe it or not. Or was it last year? I can't even remember. But at 90 something years old, he actually formally retired, I guess, from songwriting. It's like, I've had enough of that. And shout out also to, and blessings and peace still to Mr. Clarence Avant and his family during their difficult time, and his beloved and beautiful wife, Jacqueline. May she rest in peace. But speaking of James Brown, I got to bring this up. Now, this just came out yesterday. This was a 15-year battle. I want y'all to look at this right quick. Thank you, Brother Darius. Thank you, Black Mama. I appreciate it. I want y'all to check this out. Did y'all see this? This was on my Facebook page. So, James Brown's estate has been sold to a publishing company. Now, it says here Primary Wave has announced that they agreed to a deal to purchase the estate. The price is reportedly $90 million. That means Primary Wave will control James Brown's music publishing, his masters recording, his music, as well as his name and his likeness rights. Brown died on Christmas Day, 2006. His estate was part of several lawsuits that took years to settle. We've reached out to the Brown family, who say they look forward to working with Primary Wave. You can read Primary Wave's announcement on their website. Now, this was 15 years, okay? 15 years of fighting. This is just the local article that's out there in, I want to say this is Georgia, this is in Carolina, WSPA, because that's actually where James Brown is from. Yeah, he was born, of course, he has ties to Georgia, but James Brown actually lived in South Carolina. Uh, and he died in Atlanta at Grady Hospital back on December 25th, 2006. And very interesting, his own son. Now, I'm not going to say too much. I don't know if I can say too much on this, but I have a new podcast that is coming out that is going to look at, I'm starting a new podcast that is going to be looking at Black celebrities and artists and particular what has happened to them at their time of their demise. And I won't say too much what the name of it is being called, but be on the lookout is all I can say for this new podcast you're going to love. And uh, excuse me. Right. And but to get to James Brown, I'm sorry, somebody was calling my name. But yes, a lot of people, Cheryl Bryant, you say it was disappointing. Listen, James Brown's that is a I think his estate. Now, I'm not a entertainment lawyer, but I have a strong feeling to believe that that estate is worth much more than 90, and this is just me, it is worth much more than $90 million. It's got to be. Now, I don't know who this is, but okay, Frank Little. I just clicked on it from Ohio. So this brother was a former songwriter for the OJs, and it's just said they found his body. He's a homicide victim. I saw this. This brother served, and I know we're talking about James Brown, but I'm just looking at it, and it caught my attention when it said a former songwriter was a homicide victim. So he had to be about 20 to 35 years old, approximately 5'6" tall, and may have had adolescent kyphosis or curvature of the spine. So he served in the Army, including a deployment to Vietnam during World War II. Oh man, sorry to hear that. So it says he has a daughter who passed away in 2012 and a son who has not been identified. I'm just so yeah, you guys probably didn't see this, but I'm looking at this, and this is the article here. I know we're talking about James Brown. We'll get back to it in a minute, but as I just happened to notice, as this was, of course, the link that was a part of that, but this was a murder victim up in Augusta, Georgia. No, this was in Ohio, but this is news coming from, what was this? From Augusta, Georgia. And his brother, his name is Frankie Little Jr., a guitarist and a songwriter for the OJs. So he was murdered. So this is important. Now, of course, I don't know who this brother is, and he may not be as big of a celebrity as the OJs were. But certainly, this is one of the reasons why I want to do I'm doing this podcast, is that these people are often unsung, and especially in our community, we have an interest in learning what happens or happened to people that have touched our community, people who did great things within our community, who met an untimely demise, something that is not their own doing. Right. James Brown grew up, he was born in Carolina, but he grew up in Georgia. He was born in Barnwell, South Carolina, grew up in Georgia. His father, of course, if you've seen the movie, I love the movie. The opening scene just did it for me with the toilet. Did y'all know Michael Jackson actually picked out the uh, casket that he was going to serve in, that James Brown was going to be in. He picked out the casket. And you know, his lawyer who did his last will and testament was his attorney was Strom Thurmond Jr. So I'm just looking at that. Just if you go to the Wikipedia page, they got a lot of stuff on James Brown that I'm just checking out here. Of course, Wikipedia is not always the most reliable, but you can go and just look at this. Yeah, Michael Jackson actually, for according to James Brown's son, Daryl Brown, he picked out the casket. Now, you look here, there was an investigation by CNN and other journalists that led to suggestions that Brown had been murdered. That is still being investigated. Okay, Black Mama, I know you got to go. Peace and blessings. Yeah, this estate, like I said, with music, it's a license to print money. You know, just this past week was the anniversaries of December 11th and 12th of Sam Cooke and Otis Redding. And you guys know if you go on my YouTube channel, you guys can go and look at uh, that episode I did on Sam Cooke and on Otis Redding and what happened to them. Uh, you know, their stories didn't make any sense to a lot of people, particular Sam, and how he was killed. And Sam wanted to control his masters, but he also wanted to control his music publishing. He had something called soul stations that ran all throughout Los Angeles, California. Those were recording studios that he owned, that he wanted, that artists could go to. It was going to be a Motown of the West. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that, Danielle, but it's a license to print money. It's worth hundreds of millions. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And my understanding from what James Brown's son Daryl even said, his father never ever sold his image and likeness. But if you look at that YouTube video, I don't know if it's still up. I've seen clips of it, but Daryl Brown talks about how uh, about his father's death. He also talked about Sam and Otis's death, and the stuff that happens behind the scenes. He said his father went to the crossroads. There's actually a video that's on, I think it's Black Tree TV. If I could be wrong, but y'all look up James Brown makes a deal with the devil on YouTube. I can't play it obviously for copyright reasons, but it was a short film. Tony Scott, brother of Ridley Scott, Ridley Scott who made Alien. Tony Scott made Top Gun, and he also made Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. He also did The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. He did a lot of movies, and he committed suicide some 7 years ago. But Tony Scott was also director of Beverly Hills Cop 2, and yeah, but that was interesting. But tying it all in, Daryl said he made this deal with the devil. And he talked to Michael about getting out, Michael Jackson about getting out. Now he said he didn't know what that meant, but I don't want, but I don't know if it meant getting out the business or what, but whatever it was, Daryl still believes that his father didn't die a natural death. So that's why we are creating this podcast. I will not go into great detail further, but we look forward to it. We're actually finishing up one episode at this week, and we have more to come. So y'all stay tuned for that. But I won't tell you the name of it because somebody will steal that idea. You know how it is. But coming soon. So let us begin, shall we? Let us get into it, as we say. Now, I'm speaking of news and Negroes. I got to talk about this. I was going to end with this one, but I'll go with this first, okay? Today, O.J. Simpson is released from parole. Now, I want you all to look at this. Now, I didn't even know about this, but you would not have known because, as it says in the title of the topic, it makes the news. It made the news today. Now, anybody else who gets off parole, if your name is not O.J. Simpson, you are certainly not going to be in the news. And you can look here. Now, look at Google. Look at all of this. ESPN has a story on O.J. Simpson, a free man, as the Nevada parole ends. O.J. Simpson is completely free man after being discharged from parole. This is People. CNN. O.J. Simpson is once again a free man after being discharged from his parole. O.J. Simpson granted early release from parole, now a free man. Yahoo Sports. O.J. Simpson granted early release from parole, now a completely free man. The juice is loose. On November 30th, 2021, upon the
Live betting on FanDuel Sportsbook.
recommendation of the Division of Parole. Now, this was November 30th. Parole and probation. The Nevada Board of Parole Commissioners conducted an early discharge hearing for Mr. Simpson, a spokesman person for the Nevada State Police told Fox News. A decision to grant early discharge from parole was ratified on December 6, 2021. His parole was otherwise set to expire on February 9th of next year. So they granted him an early parole. And I'm looking at this video on Fox News. I'm not sharing it, but yeah, apparently O.J. Simpson was talking about Michael Jackson's death. This is actually true. Now, he didn't say anything negative about Michael. All right. Now, he didn't say anything negative about Michael, which is cool. And sorry, y'all, I got some damn bee in my bee or fly here. I can hear the damn thing. Shit, he's in the light. Annoying as hell. Sorry, guys. So there's a reason why I wanted to bring this up. Now, this is making news, and why? So for they're talking about and what I was saying about Michael. Yes, after the trial was over with, Michael Jackson had invited O.J. Simpson up to his home, and if you, I even confirmed that with brother Dr. Henry Johnson. Henry Johnson and his brother Thomas Johnson actually wrote books on the O.J. Simpson case. They had been investigating it for over 20-something years, and Dr. Johnson emphatically, both he and his brother say O.J. Simpson was not only not guilty, but completely innocent, and they knew who the killers were. And how this was all tied with drugs, how Ron Goldman was an informant with the police department, all of this stuff. And they had all of this information, and yet the national media ignored it. Darius, I can't even catch him if I wanted to. He's actually, y'all can't see my house, but my ceiling, my ceiling is about 15 feet or better. So this damn thing is not far from my windowsill, so I couldn't catch it if I wanted to. So He'll just be buzzing around. The juice is officially loose. But the point I'm making is that why is this even an issue? Why is this even being reported? That we're talking about somebody who was acquitted, and yet it has made the news. And look at these suspected white supremacists on Twitter saying O.J. Simpson doesn't believe in Lance Armstrong's character. We live in a world where the juice is a commentator on what's good and right in the world. The end is nigh. This one fool wrote, Joe Toplin wrote, O.J. Simpson was released from parole, so he's a free man now. And here's more good news for O.J. He has natural immunity from COVID because the coronavirus is afraid of him. This is what white supremacists, this is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they do. And let me put up this book by Steve Singular called Legacy of Deception. Now, there was a reason why I had Brother Steve Singular come on this channel. And if you read the book, and you all can check out the video I did with him, he broke down in the phone interview I did why O.J. Simpson was not only not guilty, but the racism that was prevalent in your Los Angeles Police Department, and not likely still is. Many of these investigators and journalists were not interested, like Jeffrey Tobin and like Dominic Dunn, were not interested in justice. They were interested in and caught up in their feelings, and they went hard to get they went hard to go after and get your O.J. Simpson. Now, what I found interesting, if you go and remember, anybody remembers that trial, I looked at it. Everybody associated with the trial wrote a book on this story, on this case, with the exception of Judge Lance Ito. Judge Lance Ito, which I found interesting, was the only member of the person associated. What's up, Frank? Good job on Bernard's show earlier today with you and Sean. But they were the only ones that wrote that everybody else wrote a book except Judge Ito, which I found interesting. They keep OJ in the media, and what you got to remember too, what happened with that OJ Simpson trial, guys, they made a lot of money off of this case. It's just like what Steve Singular and I discussed when we were talking about his book Legacy of Deception, and we mentioned the Kim Kardashian SNL show when she talked about and made jokes about OJ and so forth, made that reference. Is, you know, the Kardashians are multimillionaires because of the OJ Simpson case. Their father was on OJ Simpson's defense team. Now, if you listen to Carl Douglas a few years ago did an interview about Rob Kardashian, because you remember that not guilty verdict when it was read. Rob Kardashian was the only one that didn't look too happy about it. But Carl Douglas said that at any rate, when he was around, when Rob Kardashian was around, he never saw or witnessed anything like that. He never got a sense that that OJ was guilty to his knowledge. And I mean, I've seen pictures with him after the verdict where he actually took pictures with OJ Simpson. Now, I want you to look at this. Remember when this verdict was read? See, white America, I still remember when this happened. And they tried to, I still remember this. Just look at the comments.
This is Robertson.
Notice the
Superior Court
comments.
of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA 097.
Now watch this. I remember this.
We, the
Brother
jury, in
Johnny.
above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of
Johnny
Penal
blew
Code
it.
Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the
See, I
people of the state
remember
of
this.
California versus
And most of
Orenthal
us,
James Simpson.
we can't
We, the
let
jury,
white
in the
America
above
control
entitled
the
action, find the
narrative.
defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in
Listen to the
violation of
shocks in the
Penal Code Section
audience.
187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find the special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and
That's a
one or
racist
more
piece of
crimes of
shit.
murder
Ron
of the
Goldman's
first or
father,
second
Fred
degree to
Goldman.
be not true.
He is bad.
Signed this second day of October
Now, let me
1990.
stop right there. Now, Ron Goldman's dad, when O.J. Simpson was convicted for the kidnapping and stealing his own shit at that hotel in Las Vegas, I think it was in Nevada. I don't think it was Las Vegas, but out there in Nevada. I think it may have been Reno when that happened. But I remember he was actually in the trial. The judge in the case, this woman, this suspected white supremacist, I can't think of her name, but she was, hold on, see if I can find it. I'll never forget. This is her here. Let me play this. Let me show you. Now, during the sentencing, she was sipping.
Actually, Mr. Simpson, I had believed that there wasn't going to be a statement from you.
Jackie Glass,
And I was
thank
going
you.
to be concerned about your lack of responsibility for this action. And it's kind of a fine line in what you said to me. I hear what you said and what Mr. Galanter said, which is, I didn't intend to do anything wrong, so I must not have done something wrong, so there was no criminal intent. It was just all stupidity. I have to tell you now, it was much more than stupidity. And it's very rare that I have somebody talking to me at a sentencing about mens rea and criminal intent. It really doesn't matter. You went to the room, you took guns, meaning you and the group. You used force. You took property, whether it was yours or somebody else's. And in this state, that amounts to robbery with use of a deadly weapon. Whether it's you having the gun, or Mr. McClinton having the gun, or Mr. Alexander having the gun.
You still have to show criminal intent in certain crimes. And this woman was clearly biased. You could see, hold on. You could see in the background Fred Goldman and his daughter. Now, it's interesting, though. This is the thing about Fred Goldman. A lot of people don't know this, but you should look at Ron Goldman's stepdad, because apparently his stepdad was a lawyer, a bad dude, that was tied with some drug cases. I'm not going to play. I didn't want to play the whole video because I don't want to take up too much time on this heifer. But they have never, ever resolved the fact and gotten over the fact that O.J. Simpson was acquitted. And as Carl Douglas alluded to in an interview in that hit piece documentary that he did called O.J. Made in America, They talked about fifth quarter. He talked about the fifth quarter, how after the game is over with, HBCUs, when the football game, uh, the game is called, the band comes on the field and starts playing. That's called fifth quarter. And white folks in this case, the fifth quarter was going after OJ on a case that, if you look at this, this was his stuff. This was thing that belonged to him. There was somebody in the room who had a recorder and was basically taping the whole incident. Now, there was, and I don't know if this video still exists, but I'll never forget when there was a police officer who admitted that the cops set up OJ in this case. But this judge, Jackie Glass, was sipping on a smoothie while she was reading the sentence, while OJ Simpson was talking. Somebody was recording it.
So you put your group together, and I meant that. Wanted to punish Mr. Simpson for what had happened previously, then this wasn't the case for them. And I meant that. As the judge in
I'm cool. I am.
Hope,
I said you back along. Hey, walk your ass. You can do my shit. Mike took it. You can I know Mike took it. Something. I'm not your side of the road. I always thought you were.
in my courtroom.
I'll let nobody out this one. I wouldn't hang that fucking motherfucker. Think you can steal my shit and sell it? Don't let nobody out of here. You motherfucker. You can steal my shit. I just look at this shit. Get over there.
How you go and steal something from somebody and the police already know? How's it a theft if the police already know and got an informant in there? When you steal something, you call the cops afterwards because somebody stole it, you got robbed. But the cops know he's coming in there to get his stuff. Y'all need to pick up Thomas Johnson's, you need to pick up these books. I'm gonna put the link to this video here, but go to Amazon.com, look up look up the case of the books by Steve Singular, Legacy of Deception. You need to look at this. You also need to, if you get a chance, check out, because that's all Steve Singular's book, but Legacy of Deception is the book on O.J. Simpson. You also need to check out Thomas Johnson's book, Thomas Johnson and his brother, Dr. Henry Johnson. They also did a documentary called Serpents Rising on O.J. Simpson. And, I may actually try and bring Dr. Johnson on to the case. I have tried to have him come on. So I'm looking under Kindle, but apparently it's not on Kindle. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. So this is the book, Double Cross for Blood. Y'all need to get this book. Suppression of Evidence and Perversion of Justice. O.J. Simpson's Constitutional Disaster. This is available in paperback. That is a must read. I'm going to actually read, when I get a chance, finish reading this book too, The Architect of the Defense by F. Lee Bailey, The Truth About the O.J. Simpson Trial. The book, truth is out there if you read it. The information is out there. So go ahead, don't let white Americans fool you, because I remember this case. I remember watching it. When they talked about the EDTA being in the blood, my mom knew what it was. She said immediately that came out of a vial. You don't have EDTA in your blood. Get off with that bullshit. Marshall Clark tried to say it was about laundry detergent that caused that. That's a fucking lie. Straight up lie. And Robert Shapiro's ass, he knows for a fact OJ didn't do it, but he's the one that's walking around trying to set up OJ, telling him to take plea deals and shit. Get out of here. You don't want to be a criminal defense attorney? Get out. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go to our next story, and this is about Kim Potter, trial day 10. Now, of course, you know about the young brother named Dante Wright. This was a brother that was killed by your Kim Potter while she was attempting to arrest him for an quote unquote outstanding warrant he had, I guess, for marijuana. And this all started when the cops stopped him for having a hanging car air freshener from his dashboard mirror, from his dash view mirror. Now, rear view mirror, I should say. Now, it is illegal in Minnesota for a person, believe it or not, to have an air freshener hanging from your rear view mirror. Typically, we don't think about it. I know in Louisiana, it's not necessarily illegal, but they consider it an obstruction. So they stopped him for this. And this is courtesy of MSNBC, NBC News, and I know how I feel about
trial, of former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter. She is accused of fatally shooting Dante Wright while trying to arrest him earlier this year. Today, the prosecution is calling use of force and police training experts to take the stand. NBC News correspondent Ron Allen is joining us from outside the courthouse in Minneapolis. Ron, good to see you in snowy Minneapolis. Bring us up to speed as to what's happening inside that courtroom today.
Well, we're into you might think it was the nitty-gritty part of this. They have experts from the police department talking about the police department's policies and training, essentially. These are officers, actually, not experts. And they're trying to build a case against former Officer Potter, saying essentially that she didn't follow her training and that she didn't uphold her obligations as a police officer. Her badge, she betrayed her badge is a line that they used during the opening statements of the case. We started the case with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. When we heard from Dante Wright's mother, his girlfriend, we heard a lot from the forensic experts about the crime scene, about the autopsy photos, about that part of the case. And now we're into the policy, the training. What is a police officer supposed to do? Did the officer act properly during that traffic stop? And a big issue in all this, of course, is the weaponry, the guns that were used. The taser versus the gun. Officer Potter insists that she thought she was firing a taser when she actually fired her weapon. There was a lot of testimony about the difference between the two weapons. Here's how one agent described the difference between a taser and a gun, pointing out how the prosecution tried to show that these were very different objects that Officer Potter should not have confused. Take a listen.
The firearm weighed approximately 2.11 pounds. The taser weighed approximately 0.94 pounds.
So the Glock with the ammo weighed about over twice as much as the taser?
Yes.
Thank you.
The taser is yellow, the firearm is black. The taser has a stocky body to it compared to the Glock handgun. The grip of the taser is shorter and wider than the Glock.
The prosecution trying to drive home to the jury that these are very different weapons, and there's really no excuse for former Officer Potter, mistaking them. The charges against her use words like recklessness, negligence to describe what she did, the manslaughter charge. And of course, throughout all this, the defense is trying to say basically that if Dante Wright had just surrendered and allowed the police to arrest him and not resisted, none of this would have happened. And of course, all this is what the jury must decide.
And we will continue to watch as this unfolds. NBC's Ron Allen for us in Minneapolis. Thank you, Ron.
Now,
The future of health is not a thing that tracks your heart rate night and day.
Okay, so she's being charged with first-degree and second-degree manslaughter, which in Minnesota, it is, of course, this was happening right around the same time that the George Floyd uh, case, I shouldn't say case, but Derek Chauvin trial rather was taking place. So they have had this earlier today. They prosecutors in the manslaughter trial had a Minnesota police officer document her taser training, and you got to keep in mind this is a woman who, and I'm going to put this up here, who has been you can read this here, had a career, a 26-year police veteran. So she has been a cop for 26 years. She's not a rookie at this. She's 49 years old. I do know in certain defenses for stuff, and I'm speaking as a lawyer, they have arguments, and of course, they're saying earlier today, they're saying it was just an accident. That this had not happened, had it not been for Dante Wright's actions, that had he just surrendered, he would still be alive. And also saying that she would have still been justified because he went into his car, and by using the car, it could be a weapon. So even if she fired a firearm, it would still be reasonable force. Now, let me stop this for a second. Here's now the first day of trial, the prosecutors are wrapping up their case. They had Dante's mother testify. And right now, the judge in this case, this is the judge here, she's actually considering whether or not there are aggravating factors that would exist for the state or for her, if convicted, to add
And if we
more
would
charges
lose the jury
to
trial, after the jury trial, we would have a bifurcated trial with the court and let the court decide the Blakely
So
issue.
this is the
I would
defense
never
lawyer, Earl
agree
Gray.
to combine both of them. That was my understanding, and I believe it was Mr. Ames and our client.
Your Honor, we absolutely did discuss this in the chambers of the council. We
That's Matthew
did talk
the
about
prosecutor,
leaving
one of the
the
prosecutors.
determination of the Blakely issues to the court rather than the jury. Council indicated that their client would agree to that. Not a huge, real surprise to anybody that does this. And then we talked about still having a unitary trial, not a bifurcated trial. And it was agreed to by everybody in the room. Ms. Potter, of course, was not in the room at that time, but her attorneys represented at that time that they would not be requesting a bifurcated trial, that we were going to have a unitary trial. And, I'm a little bit concerned that council is now saying on the record, absolutely did not agree to that, because we did agree to it. It was discussed and agreed to.
There are two Blakely issues that the state has submitted. And the two Blakely issues are that defendant's conduct caused a greater than normal danger to the safety of other people as she fired into a motor vehicle in which a passenger was present, heading in the opposite direction. That's the first alleged Blakely factor. The second one is that defendant abused her position of authority as she was a licensed police officer in full uniform who had seized Mr. Wright. And I'm sure that your attorneys have explained to you what Blakely is all about, but those issues would not be an issue at all if you were found not guilty of either charge. If you were found guilty of one or two of the charges, your attorneys have indicated that they want me to decide whether these aggravating factors exist. The aggravating factors generally would allow me to impose a more severe sentence. Now, you have the right to have a jury decide these the existence of these aggravating factors. You have the right to call witnesses. You have the right to cross-examine any witnesses that the state would call. And I suppose you'd have the right to testify too if you wanted to on those issues. You'd be represented by counsel. And the jury would have to find beyond a reasonable doubt that these factors existed. And the burden would be on the state. Is it your wish to give up your right to a jury trial on whether or not the two Blakely factors exist in the event of a guilty verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sorry I stepped out for a minute. Now, let me also share this with you all. Now, this happened. They played this during trial. This is Dante Wright's mother, and also his girlfriend testified as well, and I'll play a clip of that. But this is the body camera footage of her after she shot. They played this in court.
I shot him! Oh my God! Jim, sit down. Oh my God!
They actually moved for a mistrial.
Are you okay? Just breathe. Just breathe.
That's Potter who's crying.
Just breathe.
Now, y'all can't see the actual bully though, but
No, you're not. No, they're not.
now listen to what she says. I'm gonna go to prison because she realized she fucked up. She realized what she did.
That guy was trying to take off with me in the car.
It's okay. Just breathe.
Are you hear the other cop? He was trying to take off with me in the car. So they have used that as a defense.
He's still. Okay. Breathe.
Kim, take your breath. Kim. All right.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
All right. Let me. Okay, so this is the actual body cam.
I shot him! Oh my God!
Kim, sit down.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Now the cops out rushing to go where the car was. Remember, he crashed.
Just breathe. Just breathe. Are you okay? Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe.
I've had enough of that, but Dante Wright's mother actually made it to the scene of the crime, and The trial.
Yes, today we are expected to hear testimony from Dante Wright's girlfriend who was in the car with him. Now, this trial is off to a very emotional start. Yesterday, Dante Wright's mom took the stand. Now, Katie Bryant said that she could hear the first part of the traffic stop on the phone because her son called her right when he got pulled over. But before Wright was shot, Bryant said their call was disconnected. After calling back multiple times, she said Wright's girlfriend answered the phone and said he'd been shot. Jurors then saw video of Bryant arriving at the scene. Bryant said when she arrived, she saw Wright's car crashed and his body under a white sheet.
I was so confused, angry, scared. It was the worst day of my life.
When Potter's lawyers cross-examined Bryant, she said that she knew that Wright didn't have a driver's license, but she said she didn't know about his marijuana use, and she said she didn't know that he had a warrant out for his arrest. Now, yesterday, the prosecution was really hitting at the oath that officers have to take to protect the sanctity of life, while the defense was saying that Potter was simply focusing on protecting her partner. I'll explain all of that coming up. Plus, we'll show you never-before-seen body cam footage of Kim Potter just moments after she shot Dante Wright. Chris, Gia.
All right. Thanks for keeping it.
Yes, today we are expected to hear testimony from Dante.
All right. So the mother rushed to the scene and Dante Wright's
Right now,
girlfriend
the second day
testified.
of the trial of former Minnesota police officer
openly sobbing on the stand many times. This was the person who was actually in the vehicle as Wright was initially pulled over and was there throughout after he got shot. And even once there was a car crash afterwards and the police then pulled them out the vehicle. You see some of her testimony there right now. But she said that earlier in the day, they were spending it together, that they did smoke marijuana in the morning, and then they went to stop at his house before going over and being pulled over by the police. But she says he was respectful throughout the interaction, and then she said things just escalated dramatically. And one really powerful moment is when she apologized to Wright's mother, Katie, who we heard from yesterday, saying that she was sorry that she called her in a panic after Wright was shot and actually turned the camera towards Wright. We heard Katie mention the feeling of seeing her son's lifeless body at that point. She said she was sorry for doing that. She just reacted in a way that was emotional because of the trauma that she just experienced.
There was also a Brooklyn Center police officer, Shaquille, who testified. What new facts did we learn that were added to the case because of his particular testimony?
This was the officer that made the decision to pull Wright's car over. He says he initially saw that Wright was hesitating and had his right turn signal on in a left lane, and then eventually made that left turn. He then saw the air fresheners dangling from the rearview mirror, which is illegal in the state of Minnesota, and then realized that the plates had expired tabs on them. That is what led to the stop. I want you to listen to a little bit of his testimony, which, by the way, he says he believes the stop was legal, but then he describes what happened after once Kim Potter then arrived.
I wanted to protect him because that's what mothers do. You protect your children.
He didn't play
you
the
make
video.
sure that they're safe.
He didn't play that video.
And that was actually Katie, who is Wright's mother. But you heard Officer Luckley later in his testimony essentially talk about how Kim Potter immediately got emotional and distraught. She was down in the grass, and she said that she was going to prison, highlighting the idea that she believed or that she made a mistake when she shot with her handgun instead of using her taser. Morgan?
All right, NBC Shaquille Brewster there for us. Shaquille, thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Now, we never know if that stop was legal. Of course, they have the body cam footage or dash cam footage that was released. I believe that they're going through. But tomorrow, the prosecutors will continue their case, and Dante Wright's father is going to testify, I believe, at the end. Yeah, they use that to F with people. I mean, typically, there was a bunch of things, and I've had and I may bring him back, Brother Ken Williams. Ken, of course, is a retired Brockton police officer, a homicide detective over 20 years. He is a use of force expert. Uh, and in those situations, and keep in mind, they said also that his tag was expired and his license. You can get tickets, obviously, for that. But, a ticket is one thing, taking you to jail is another. You know, keep in mind also, we're also in the day of COVID-19. I don't know what is going on in Minnesota as far as their regulations, but being that it is a liberal state and that city is supposed to be liberal, I'm sure they had restrictions all in place about COVID and people staying home. And who knows with those court proceedings, listen, we've had courts that have shut down because of COVID-19. Everything's being done remotely. So people can pay for their insurance tax, can pay for their new decal on their on the court's website or on the state's website. That is something that's happened, so people can avoid going in there. She could have taken him to court and had him pay it. It was necessary to put him in cuffs. Now, I've had Ken talk about it. He says there's a number of things the officer could have done. So I'm gonna bring Ken back on and talk about that. But this is a statute on Minnesota. Now, this is manslaughter in the first degree. So you are sentenced no more than 15 years in prison or pay a fine of not more than $30,000 a boat. And that manslaughter occurs when one person intentionally causes the death of another person in the heat of passion, provoked by such words or acts of another as would provoke a person of ordinary self-control under like circumstances, provided that the crying of a child does not constitute provocation. So in other words, I had to look at that carefully. You can't kill a kid just because they keep crying. Violates section 609-224, which I'm not familiar with that is. This is Minnesota, assault in the 5th degree. So an assault in the 5th degree, which is that's another one. But I think they're looking at section 1 here, which is it was done in the heat of the moment. Now, manslaughter in the 2nd degree occurs when it may be sentenced for imprisonment not more than 10 years, pay a fine of not more than $20,000 by the person's culpable negligence, whereby the person creates an unreasonable risk and consciously takes chances of causing death or great bodily harm to another, or by shooting another with a firearm or other dangerous weapon as a result of negligently believing the other person to be a deer or other animal. I don't know about that, but some of them see us as animals. Let's be real. They think it's hunting when they come out here, especially, and they wear that blue uniform and get in that black and white. And notice in that video, she was more distraught about going to jail. There's another thing. You were more distraught about going to jail than you were about the man you shot. Did y'all notice that? She was not worried about whether he was going to live. She didn't mention that. She said, I'm going to jail. So we're going to keep monitoring this. I didn't even know this was going on, but they moved for a mistrial in this case. The lawyers did. I'm glad it's being televised. I didn't even know it was being televised at one point, but everybody can see it. But we're going to keep monitoring it. Thank you, Black Voltron. I need everybody also, thank you for the highlight Black Voltron out of the Bay. That is the book, ladies and gentlemen, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. You can get that coming soon on Amazon.com. That is the link there. As a matter of fact, it's easier to go to the Facebook page. I shared it earlier and look at Commonwealth Cause. That's at Commonwealth Cause. And go there and like the page. Visit it, like the page. That way you'll get updates when the book is available. We're still in, the legal is almost finished with it, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait for it to come out. But we're going to move into our next story. And it is in my neck of the woods that I'm talking about this. Judge Odene. Now, I just was in Lafayette. I had a professor at law school named Odene, so I'm guessing he was white. I'm guessing this is a relative. I'm guessing. Lafayette City Court Judge Michelle Odene, this is her name, got caught saying, you know what, blames a sedative for her choice of words. Of course, the word that she said was nigger. Butterflies asks, do I have an IG page? No, honey, I do not have an IG page at this moment, but I'll be sure to collect one. But when you listen to the live stream, I'll tell you when we go live too on this channel. And so, so Judge Odene, and I'm going to play the video. She was caught. She had a burglary at her home a few nights ago, and claiming that she took a sedative and wasn't in her, I guess, right state of mind. She was caught for saying nigger, referring to a burglar at her home. Now, Brother Tariq Nasheed has that video, and I'm going to play it in a little bit. And I even commented. I don't know if Flex responded. But Lafayette Mayor President Josh Guillory, along with City Marshal Reggie Thomas and State Senator Gerald Boudreaux, have separately released statements regarding racist remarks from video footage taken at Judge Michelle Odene's home. On Monday, KATC published a story about the Lafayette judge facing questions over a racist video being circulated online. So this is the video here. This is the, and she confirmed the video was shot in her home and comparing the suspect to a roach. The burglar suspect is a 59-year-old man by the name of Robert Handy. Now, she says, my children and I were the victim of an armed burglary at our home. The police were called and the assailant was arrested. The incident shook me to my core and my mental state was fragile. I was a wreck and I'm still unable to sleep. I was given a sedative at the time of the video. I have zero recollection of the video and disturbing language used during it. Anyone who knows me and my husband knows this is contrary to the way we live our lives. I am deeply sorry and ask for your forgiveness and understanding as my family and I deal with the emotional aftermath of this armed burglary. Well, here's the only problem with that, ma'am. Yeah, I know you probably saw it on Gary's page. Yeah. Here's the problem with that. First and foremost, this was after the burglary had taken place, and I'm not excusing, obviously, the burglar and what happened. That is a traumatic thing, but you did this after that took place. You say this, and this is not the person I am, but are you saying it because a videotape was taken? Because if there was no videotape, or rather yet, if you knew that a video was taken there, and I don't think you knew that your children were actually recording it, you likely would not have said it had it not been recorded. But just because it was recorded and you got caught and you're saying, well, I don't remember that, you realize what you said. This is how you talk in private. And yes, I know she's a judge, and she's just there's a level of professionalism as attorneys we have. I'm sorry, not today. I also have free speech. I get in our profession and under our rules of professional conduct. As lawyers, we are to respect each other and respect judges, but this is someone who does not have respect for me. And I question every case that she has had, because I'm pretty sure in city court, she has had criminal cases with people who look like me and you, those that are in the chat, and thought the same things that she heard in court when they were charged with misdemeanors and trespassings and so forth. This happened, of course, with Judge Jesse LeBlanc out in Ascension Parish. And she had to step down. She needs to step down. The chief public defender of Lafayette says not much to say beyond the point that people want a judge who respects everyone equally. This recording does not represent that level of respect that people subject to important decisions from a court are entitled to. Our Supreme Court will be looking into this. Edwards, who is a professor of law at UL, says the judge will face more questions in the days ahead. I definitely think this is something that deserves more of an explanation and would absolutely be front and center in a future election. If I was a person of color in this community and I found myself in front of a judge who used terms like that to refer to me and my people, then I would have a tough time believing that the system was fair and balanced. Are you kidding? I wouldn't want her on the bench. I would have a tough time seeing her still on the freaking bench. Gotta go, like Wesley Snipes said in Passenger 57. Gotta go, gotta go. So it's not playing the video, but let's play the video. You all can hear it, the uncensored version of it. Here's the uncensored version of the video. That's Judge Michelle Odenay, by the way. This is her. I think you saw her picture already, but okay, so it clicked off that, but this is the video clip here.
Look, the song goes, why are the lights when I pull up in the whip, they be saying, God damn.
Why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, nigger! Nigger!
Oh, we have a nigger! It's a nigger! Like a roach.
Look, that's me. No, that's I came from the backside.
Like a roach.
He tripped twice. He tripped twice.
I was the only one running. That's me. Kenny was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
So they're looking at the footage from the burglary suspect.
That's my phone where it fell out.
Look, Mom. The dude had a phone on him. We should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to grab a gun.
Go and get the gun.
It's important. Very important.
As me also maintain control of the situation.
The kids definitely recorded. And fuck them kids too, because they're little suspected white supremacists as well. They're gonna grow up messed up like this. Well, you know what? She needs to be forced from the bench to resign, and the kids just basically won't have a good Christmas. I'm sorry, you got one parent income in that house. Matter of fact, I hear the husband saying it too. What if he gets fired from his job for that? I don't know where he works. Y'all ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Get rid of the backside. Oh, I'm saying, no filter tonight. I got zero.
That's me. Kenny was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
He lied. That was his wallet.
Yeah. That's my phone where it fell out.
Look, Mom. The dude had a phone on him. We should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to grab a gun.
Go and get the gun.
It's important. Very important.
As me also maintain control of the situation. The great thing is we've got video. They've got look, there was the car. Wait, look, there's Rebel. There's Rebel. Want to play fetch? Rebel was supposed to let this is
the song goes, why are the lights when I pull up in the whip, they be saying, God damn.
Why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, nigger! Nigger!
We have a nigger! It's a nigger! Like a roach.
Look, that's me. I can't go to the
That
backside.
sounds like a sedative.
He tripped twice. He tripped twice.
I was the only one
That
running.
sounds
That's
like
me.
something they take
Kenny
after
was
a
standing.
full
I'm the
meal.
one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
He lied.
It's a sedative that had me do that.
That's my phone where it fell
Clonazepam
out.
did that.
The dude had a phone on him. You should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to have a gun.
Clonazepam.
It's important.
Paxil did
Very
that.
important.
As me also maintain control of the situation.
Weed is a sedative. We don't do this.
Look, there with the car. Wait, look, there's
And look, here comes the rebel.
Want to play back?
You're right, Black Valentine. These are
The
confirmed
song
white
goes,
supremacists.
Why are the lights to your
when I pull
truck
up in the
on?
whip, they be saying,
I'm
God
like,
damn.
why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, Nigger! Nigger!
Oh, shit, we have a nigger. It's a nigger.
We have a nigger.
Look,
And look at this already. She's asking for forgiveness. She wrote she wants forgiveness. Now, let me ask you all, do you forgive her? Do y'all forgive Judge Michelle Odenay? Y'all think we should just forgive her, move on, let her live her life? This is her here. Now, we hold judges, and of course, yes, people make mistakes. Do people make mistakes? Yeah, they do. I'm not going to sit here as a hypocrite and say, as a man, I have never made mistakes. There may have been things I have said that I may have to answer for. Things that I have done, I'll have to answer for in the afterlife. And I'm not going to say I don't believe in forgiveness, because I do. If the person is truly sorry and that their sorrow is genuine and they do an act of contrition, yeah, I could do that. But this ain't one of them days. You are sorry not for what you said. You are sorry because you got caught saying how you truly feel. Now, she's a city court judge. And let me just break it down how it works. You have justices of the peace, you have city court, and then you have the district judges. And then it gets higher after that with the Court of Appeals, and then the Supreme Court justices, the associates. So in city court, you may not see, well, you will see some felony cases, but not severe felony. Like they would never try a murder case in there. You will have theft cases in there. She very well could, but I doubt, she might get the lower charge of manslaughter second, because to me, still, if you look at that body camera footage, she had time to realize, to me, that she wasn't pulling out a taser, she was pulling out a firearm. But she's sorry, not sorry. I thought that was from Machete. God forgives. I don't. Cheech Marin said that when he blew up that assassin's head. He was a priest in the movie. So this is the dude, the fool that robbed her. And her case is what the Supreme Court ought to do. They released there was a statement that was released, and I believe, according to what I'm reading here, okay, so officials have released a statement. The NAACP of Lafayette, President Michael Toussaint, I know how we feel about the NAACP. They've called for her to be removed. And that the Supreme Court the Judiciary Committee remove her from office if she refused. They asked the Disciplinary Council to suspend her license to practice law for lack of character and fitness to practice in the state of Louisiana. They are also asking the Chief Judge, Douglas L. J. Saloom of Lafayette City Court, to act within his powers and remove her. No, but she is not sorry for what she did. She's sorry she got caught. That's the bottom line. You're sorry you got caught. Think of the kids and those children. They're learning this crap from her. That's the sad thing. And these are kids, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what school they go to, but I'm pretty sure they go to school and have black students and have classmates and have black classmates, have black athletes on their team, and they high-fiving them, and they hearing them say this crap. And they realize that that family, what they truly think of black people. The kids were up there laughing. The kids posted this. I ain't gonna lie, if I was Michelle O'Neill and my kids posted it, I probably would have slapped them upside their head. But good for the kids to record it, although they got caught, stupid on their part because they were actually caught saying the same stuff and laughing like it was nothing. But yeah, I know they're kids, but no, I'm not gonna even use that excuse because they should know better. That whole damn family. That whole family is white supremacist. When you use words like that. So you had State Senator Boudreaux, who stated, "Oh, I'm disappointed," based off the video I saw of Mrs. Odenay. He says, "We have struggled miserably to garner public support for our judicial system at every level in this country. The potential landscape has become so toxic that the negative impact has been identified and evident from the United States Supreme Court to the Lafayette City Court. I can assure you that the late Judge Khalees Saloom Jr. did not allow and would never condone this racist discourse from any of his children in his residence or in his neighborhood. The Lafayette community deserves and must have loyal political leadership if it is to be respected and recruit businesses and families that will ultimately call Acadiana their home. I respectfully request and will officially petition that the Judiciary Commission of Louisiana investigate the ethical conduct and actions associated with the recent developments." I'm not gonna read all of it, but I'm looking at different ones. The NFA, now this is funny. The NFAC, Supreme Commander Grandmaster J, released this statement. I know y'all out here from Tariq. Grandmaster J, he says, "There's no way this person can continue to serve as a fair and impartial judge while harboring these racist views of the African American citizens of the great city of Lafayette. The NFAC echoes the position of Senator Boudreaux and others that it is in the best interest of justice and public belief in a fair and impartial law-based judiciary that Judge Michelle Odenay resign from her judgeship immediately." Scam Master J. Oh yes, it's him. When I saw it, I thought of Tariq. But we're going to let y'all know what happens more from this case, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Melvin McCauley for the $10 donation. Please hit that Cash App at the bottom, guys. I'm going to get up out of here because I got to get up in the morning and drive to court. I got to go to court actually out about an hour from here in Point of a Hatch. So you guys be safe and be blessed. But we ain't fooling around with you job suckers, job sucker turkeys, job ass turkey. Mountain, 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 mountain. The Wow Wow guitar is going off. Yeah, Grandmaster. I ain't gonna say too much. But anyway, guys, if you have not, go to our website, NorniesCreoleBlends.com, to try out our seasoning blends company. Some of you, Black Voltron, I don't think you've ever ordered from Nornies. I haven't gotten a request. You see the shop button there. Brother, why don't you order some? Bring something out to the Bay and add something to your taste buds this holiday season. And not just Black Voltron, but Darius from Atlanta, Black Mama, all of y'all, anybody out here, go order some NorniesCreoleBlends.com. I'd appreciate it. So Harvey got some videos up. I'm actually I got to do another video. I'm going to drop the video, but it has nothing to do with a lot of stuff here. But I'm going to start dropping some videos. I've got to share with you all to keep in mind. I want to get back into doing that. But also, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. And this goes great with every dish. That's the slogan. But of course, guys, go to our Facebook page. Butterflies, you asked about this because you quit Facebook, but I'm on Facebook. It's just easier for me. Eventually, I may have an IG page starting to promote the book, but this is where you go, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out the Bill Cosby page, the updates on the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., the destruction of due process in the United States. You have to go here, ladies and gentlemen, to check out any updates on the book, what we'll be doing. I think when the book is released, I will do a virtual book release party. So I want you to bring your beer, your liquor, your drinks, no quaaludes. I'm sorry, Bill. I just had to do a joke right there. No Jello pudding, no Jello shots, nothing would be allowed. Well, maybe we could have the Jello shots with a Coke and a smile. No. No, but y'all go to that Facebook page. Now we know for sure Andrew White won't be on my YouTube page. I've tried to Andrew White won't come on. But yeah. Go to the Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, y'all know, throw the spices up again. Oh yeah, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nornies goes great with every dish. That's right. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. Destruction of due process in America, in the United States. That's the official title of the book there, ladies and gentlemen. But that's the NorniesCreoleBlends.com website for you butterflies. I know I believe you ordered some. The Bossa Queenie ordered some. I had a few people pick up some. All right, Pacing T, you're gonna get your order in. Okay, definitely do that. If you do that, I'm gonna try and get that mailed out to you all soon by the end of the week, if I can. So I'll double check to see if you have ordered it. But as you know, I am a musician. I'm going to be doing some music, releasing some stuff actually for the holidays soon. So I want you all to come and check that out. And let us go out on some music, ladies and gentlemen. We, of course, have our songs such as interesting. I know it is just two. It is just two songs at the moment, but the catalog will be growing. We got Video Soul. We have Video Soul that you can buy on Apple. It is also available on Amazon, and you can stream it if you would like through Spotify. I prefer if you buy them on Apple, but buying it on Spotify is cool too. And of course, we have our leading song, got to get on up. So as we have gotten on down, it is now time to get on up. You all tune in to our show on Thursday, where I will be sitting down with a man who takes a critical examination of everything from politics to Cardi B, as well as to Chicken McNuggets from McDonald's, your Sean James, author of The Man Crisis. Now, this video will not be monetized, but if so, you can go and check out, leave a link in the comment. I will leave a link in the comment for my books, as well as for the Cash App to support. Hit that link and subscribe to our Patreon. That is all I have to say for this video. You may listen to Got On Get Up and subscribe. And now I will also take a critical examination of how I'll holla, peace, and also why I love you. So when I take a critical examination of love, this love seems like something that only a beta male would do for a woman who does not respect him. I mean, because you think about it, a beta male is a flat out simp like your Wolverine who was the ultimate simp that actually killed for your Dr. Jean Grey, who was also been around the girl, that actually got laid with your Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and very likely blew your Professor Xavier. Now, your Wolverine had options. Your Wolverine could have had a young Storm. He could also have had Rogue, who was a hottie with the body, but he chose not to do that because he wanted to get him some red head. Now, I have to end on that one. Good night and get redhead. It's a double meaning. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And shout out to Sean James and also Brother Bernard, because I am tired of these beta males and these leftist nuts, these feminists who are just driving us crazy. Good night, and let's get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. feeling. It's time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Gotta get on up. Come on, baby. Gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. It is time to now get on up. I'll holla this Thursday with yours truly, Sean James. That's all I have to say for this video. You may comment, like, and subscribe.